Hi there, Chris here with another installment in my in-depth look at the Codex Eldar for 6th edition. And so, in our last exciting episode, I was looking at the elites. And so now, we are going to take a look at the troops. Why not, right? Let's look at some troops. And so with the troop selection, I think I've already kind of, voiced my opinions on this as far as battle focus, how this is like such a huge addition. And the units that see it the most are the troop selection. Dire Avengers, Defenders, Jet Bikes. These guys see it the most, the benefit of it, because these are all shuriken-based weaponry they carry, right? Yeah, this is a huge addition to this army, and it's a great upgrade to them. Battle focus, and then of course Blade Storm for these units. These are huge additions. And so let's dive right into it. Let's have a look at what troops have in store for us. And so right off the top, let's have a look at Dire Avengers. Ooh. And so basically their stats have remained pretty much the same. Same armor save, same leadership, You start off for 5, you take them up to a 10-man unit for roughly the same amount of points, actually a little bit more, I believe. And so they have aspect armor. The Exarch has heavy aspect armor, of course. Avenger catapults, which have a better range than the Defender version. And they also have plasma grenades. That's a nice addition there. Special rules are the Ancient Doom, shock. Battle focus, huge. They have counter-attack now, and that's a nice one. And because they have such a good leadership, you're almost sure to get that ability and get those extra attacks. And then they also have fleet, which is nice. And so, of course, you can upgrade one of the guys to an Exarch. He can exchange his catapult for a twin-linked Avenger catapult, power sword or pistol, excuse me, a dire sword and a pistol, power weapon, and a shimmer shield. That's a nice addition right there. Shimmer shield is lots of fun. Big advantage there for the unit. The Exarch can have 2 of 3 powers, disarming strike, shield of grace, and battle fortune. Those are all excellent abilities for the Exarch. Huge. And then they can take a wave serpent. And so Dire Avengers. A lot of Eldar players I know have taken Dire Avengers for some time, and they are still really good. The addition of battle focus, counter attack opens them up a lot. And so when you take a Exarch with this unit, and if he has, say, for example, the power sword and shimmer shield is excellent for the unit. The Exarch can take disarming strike, which means the opponent loses a weapon, shield of grace, a better save, and battle fortune, better save. And so Dire Avengers just get better. Now I'm pretty sure that the cost does go up a bit. I think very minuscule. I don't have the other book on hand, so I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure it is an increase in cost. But they get an increase in abilities, and so that's huge. That's awesome. It's fantastic. What's not to love about this? And so Dire Avengers. I'll be taking more Dire Avengers. I mean, like, I know I play Samhan and I'm all about the jet bikes, right? But sometimes you need some boots on the ground, and more shuriken weapons you can have, the better, because shuriken weapons get so good now. And so the next unit, Guardian Defenders. Now here is a nice increase to their stats. They go up in weapon skill and ballistic skill and initiative. Everything else pretty much stays the same. They start off at 10, but you can increase them up to 20. Their base cost went up just a smidge. They get the catapults and plasma grenades right off the hop. They have the Ancient Doom, battle focus, and fleet. Awesome. And so you can include up to 10 more. And now for every 10 Guardians in the unit, you can incorporate a heavy platform. So if you had a unit of 20 Guardians now, you could have 2 platforms in that unit. Now mind you, that's a lot of guys, shooting at one thing. So, you know, be mindful of that, I suppose. But that's a huge amount of fire, and that's a huge unit. And for the points cost, for what these guys can do, can you imagine, like battle focus, being able to shoot and run every turn, any turn you like. And on top of the shuriken catapults, getting Blade Storm, this is just a great upgrade for these guys for really minimal amount of points. And so the heavy weapons you still get are pretty much the same. The points are roughly the same. And you get the cannon, you get the lance, you get the scatter laser, you get a star cannon, and you get missile launchers. Missile launchers have plasma and star shot missiles. Star shot missiles is just basically like a crack missile. And the unit can also have a wave serpent as well. The wave serpent, we'll get to the wave serpent soon. But Guardian Defenders, awesome. You know, you throw in an avatar, throw in a warlock, and you got some serious guys for fairly cheap. Now, the thing about the Eldar is that they're not really a horde kind of army. Yet, when you take these Guardians, especially when they have such a good weapon skill and ballistic skill now, and good initiative, crap armor, but it's still good. And, you know, you throw the warlock in, and depending on what warlock power you end up with, you know, you can augment them that way. You throw an avatar nearby, makes them fearless, unless you have the psychic power to make them fearless. Big whoop, right? But there's all these combinations, and then you throw in the Farseer supporting them, and defenders become really good. And I have lots of Guardians, and because I know, like, Guardians are good. Yeah, they die really easily, but in the right circumstances, you can't beat them. Like, and especially now that with Blade Storm and Battle Focus, man, these guys are so maneuverable now. And with Blade Storm being able to even give them an opportunity against stuff like Terminators and such, even monstrous creatures. Can you imagine an entire 20-man defender squad spraying into, you know, even in Apocalypse, imagine them spraying into it like a Titan, like a Bio-Titan. That's craziness, right? It's just, and they're just mowing it down. And so, yeah, Guardian Defenders, excellent. And they get a great upgrade. Their points cost really doesn't change that much, and so no, they become really awesome. And so next, let's look at Storm Guardians. Storm Guardians, same profile as the Guardian Defenders, same starting cost and unit size, and you can increase them up to a unit size of 20. They have the mesh armor, shuriken pistols, chain swords, and plasma grenades. Not bad for what they cost. They get Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, and Fleet. The Battle Focus and Fleet, again, on these guys that are, you know, mainly designed for close combat, is a huge advantage. It's fantastic. And so you can take for every, or no, in the squad size, you can have 2 to upgrade to either having flamers or fusion gun, or, you know, combination of the both, right? Up to 2 Guardians may exchange their chain swords for power swords. So some extra killage there as well. And of course, they can have a wave serpent. Shock, right? Storm Guardians. Awesome. I love the Storm Guardians. Whenever I played with Storm Guardians in the past, I always threw a Warlock with Enhance on them, or the Warlock with Conceal on them. Just, you know, try and give them some extra protection, right? But you throw in some of those Warlord traits, making them stealth, healing, extra cover save, plus on the armor saves. And all of a sudden, this, you know, low cost unit all of a sudden becomes pretty comparable to something like a Space Marine unit that, you know, I mean, like, these guys aren't going to win you the game, but they're a troop choice at a good cost, and with the right upgrades, become really good. So Guardians, thumbs up in my book. And so next, let's look at Rangers. 5 in a unit, and you can increase them up to 10. They're, I believe, almost the same amount of points. No war gear options or anything like that other than the increase in the size. They get mesh armor, which is crap. The Ranger long rifle, which is, you know, pretty good. And they get the shuriken pistol. Now, I played a battle report with these guys, and I was using my pistol more than I was using the rifle, which is kind of strange, but, you know, yeah, I mean, because they get Battle Focus and Fleet, like, it's ridiculous. Like, the shuriken weapon has gotten so good now. And so their special rules, they get, surprise, surprise, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Fleet, Infiltrate, Move Through Cover, and Stealth. You know, like their stats are the same as a Guardian. So they're not, they're not Supermen, right? But they don't have to be, because you're not throwing these guys right in the front line. You're disrupting, you're being sneaky, and you're lining up targets with these guys because of the sniper rifles. But if they need to skedaddle out of an area because guys are deep striking beside them or something like that, at least they have the pistols to give them the opportunity against, tougher units like, Terminator, Space Marines, stuff like that, right? At least it gives them that chance to take that stuff out. And so, Guardians, the Rangers, awesome, great. I don't know much more because I don't take the Rangers that often, but I know a lot of people do take Rangers a lot. And I see no downside from the previous edition to this edition on their abilities. Because of Battle Focus is just awesome. And Stealth, they automatically get Stealth. But they had something like Stealth before. The extra cover save. And so finally, for our troops, we're going to look at the Wind Rider Jet Bike Squad. My favorite. Right off the hop, these guys are cheaper. Start off with 3 and you can take them up to 10. You used to be able to take them up to 12, so it kind of messes up my numbers now in my army. So I have a few more squads and jet bikes now, I suppose. But the big thing that is an upgrade for these guys is the initiative and their weapon skill and ballistic skill. These guys got so good with just ballistic skill 4. These guys have twin-linked shuriken catapults on their bikes. That's 3s to hit with rerolls, 2 shots each, and then with blade storm. These guys are really awesome. And so these guys have mesh armor. Why it tells us they have mesh armor, I don't know, because they have Space Marine armor save, right? They have a Eldar jet bike. Shocking. They have Ancient Doom and Battle Focus. Now, the Battle Focus on these guys, I'm not sure why they have the Battle Focus, other than maybe because they're Guardians, but a bike can't run. I mean, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty close. I'm pretty sure jet bikes don't run. They can go flat out and stuff, but what does that Battle Focus mean as far as that is concerned? Like, I don't see them getting any kind of advantage for Battle Focus, unless, of course, it means that they can shoot and do their flat out move, which is effectively the run, right? But yeah, so I'm not sure like why they have the Battle Focus. Unless, of course, something comes up, say, for example, in the Eldar Codex, whenever that comes out, or if, I should say. There's gotta be, right? So many Eldar players out there. Maybe a character maybe they'll get Nadu back, the chief of the Wild Riders, and maybe he'll give them something where they can take advantage of having that Battle Focus. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows, right? And so, they can take their unit up to 10 men, and their only other upgrade is that for every 1 in 3, you can upgrade a guy to have the shuriken cannon, which you might as well because the point cost is the same as before, but which is not too prohibitive. And so, even with a full man unit with only 3 cannons now, the unit comes in at a fairly reasonable price for a highly mobile, tough for Eldar, and good armor save. But the high mobility, Eldar jet bikes are the fastest, with a whopping speed of 36 inches if they go turbo boosting. And so with the Eldar jet bikes, with this kind of mobility and this kind of ability for them now to take out Space Marines and even Terminators now, a chance against them. I'm not saying that they're always going to do it. It's just, if you're rolling well, right? If the dice are with you, you're going to get those opportunities to take them out. And so, yeah, Eldar jet bikes, man. And anybody who's been following my channel knows that I'm working on my jet bikes because I want to get them done. Got to get them done so I can have a full Samhan army out there and pound my enemies into the dirt. I don't really have any enemies. I'm kind of friends with people. Okay, and so finally, let's have a look at the dedicated transport, which is the good old trusty Wave Serpent. Now this guy, he's about the same amount of points as he was. Well, he's a little bit more base cost, but he already comes with shuriken cannons. Before you had to pay for those additionally. They were only cheap, but you know, whatever, right? His ballistic skill goes up. His armor values stay the same. He's a 3 hull points. He's a vehicle. He's a tank. He's fast. He's a skimmer. He's a transport. He's everything you want to be. And so he's got twin-linked shuriken cannons. He's got twin-linked shuriken catapults. And he has the serpent shield. He can take 12 models. Now, let's talk about the serpent shield. This is a really interesting addition, and I'm not 100% sure why they felt the need to change this on the Wave Serpent. Because the shield before, it was really good. You know, armor values higher than a certain point, counted at that certain value. But now, with the shield, you get basically a save against penetrating hits and downgrading them to a glancing hit. But instead of using it in its shield capacity, you can use this as a shooting attack now. And so it's not really a weapon. It's just a characteristic of the vehicle. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. It is war gear. But is it a weapon that can be taken out? Like if a weapon is destroyed? And so I'm not too sure. Maybe it can be, I don't know. Be kind of stupid if it could, but anyway, it can shoot. It's got a real high strength. There's no AP on it, but it's got potential for 2 to 7 shots, causing pinning and ignoring cover. That's really good against medium toughness stuff, low armor. It's really handy, but it's got a huge range on it, and I'm not sure why it's got such a huge range, but it does. It's got a huge range. Effectively way across the table. It's comparable to the Fire Prism, for God's sakes. And so this upgrade for the Wave Serpent is huge, and so it doesn't change its points cost. We get this extra shooting attack out of the tank now, which is awesome. Now, of course, when you use the shooting attack, you lose the capacity for the shield, but I'll take my chances with that, especially if you want to pump out, you know, extra shots, right? And so yeah, causing pinning. Causing pinning when you have the Warlock who can negate 3 off the leadership of a unit, and you have a plane, well, which we'll get to later, a plane that can take away Fearless from a unit. All these potential combos start kind of coming to mind, and it all starts to get really exciting. And so yeah, so let me know what you guys think of that upgrade for the Wave Serpent. And of course, the following upgrades he still gets, right? He can have his twin link Bright Lance, his twin link Scatter Laser, his twin link Star Cannon, and a twin link Missile Launcher. These weapon upgrades are fairly cheap. This tank is not going to cost you very much. It's going to cost you probably about the same of what the unit is transporting. And it's a high armor. It's got good hull points. This tank is probably still the best transport around. And for a long time, the Wave Serpent was the best transport for its points cost, because it was pretty much a battle tank as well as being a transport with a huge capacity, being fast. You know, yeah, it's not a Land Raider, but, you know, not everybody can have Land Raiders or battle wagons. But this thing, I mean, I'll take a fast vehicle over a big lumbering thing any day. And of course, his other upgrades are, he can upgrade his shuriken catapults to a cannon, and he can have any of the other vehicle upgrades, which are quite plenty. And so the vehicle upgrades, like, you can still get the star engines, you can still get, well, you get the new edition of the, well, it's a rehash, really. It's the crystal targeting matrix, where you get to shoot when you flat out. Hollow fields, they changed that a bit, you know. It's a +1 now to your cover save. You can have mine shock pods, although I think only the plane only gets that. I don't know. Power field, I think that's only for the walkers. Serpent shield, it's already got that. Spirit stones, this is kind of nice. Ignore on dice rolls the effects of crew stunned and crew shaken. Star engines, go an additional 3 inches. You know, it's not bad if you really need to get out of an area and, you know, you're going to use this vehicle for that purpose, or getting into a point, you know. And then vectored engine. Vectored engine, now this one is really interesting because the vehicle can turn after resolving its firing, which is pretty handy. I can see lots of uses for that. The Crystal Targeting Matrix is a good one too. Oh, and the Ghost Walk Matrix. I forgot about that one. But yeah, the Wave Serpent. And so that pretty much covers the troops. The troops is not a lot. But we weren't expecting a lot of troop choices, right? But I mean, even with the spirits here, turning Wraith Guard into troops, I mean, there you go, you got more troops, right? And so that's it for troops. Let me know what you think about the upgrades for troops. Do you think the increase in points for some stuff is justified? Or do you think it's, you know, kind of unfair? Do you think maybe the new stuff for Eldar is kind of overpowered? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Give a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. And I'll see you. Or maybe I won't see you, I don't know. Maybe you only tune in for this one video. But I'll see you in the next video.